Edo State, and about 60 kilometers northwest of Benin City, Nigeria, is this area that holds a remnant of the Nigerian lowlands forests that once formed a continuous 50 to 100 kilometers wide belt from the Niger River west to the Dahomey Gap in Benin. It is the Okomu National Park, formerly called the Okomu Wildlife Sanctuary. The park is Nigeria's 7th national park with landmass of approximately 19,712 hectares. Okomu National Park is a blissful forest where you experience the beauty of a rainforest full of huge forest trees, several species of plants and animals. The park's vegetation is a typical Guinea-Congo lowland rainforest and is characterized by a mosaic of swamp forests, high forests, secondary forests, and open scrubs. Common trees include Ceiba pentandra, Celtis zenkeri, Triplochiton scleroxylon, Antiaris africana, Pycnanthus angolensis, and Alstonia conguensis. The rainfall at the park area is between 1,524 to 2,540 millimeters per year. The soils are acidic, and the park has a wide range of flora and fauna, and is probably the best example of mature secondary forest in southwest Nigeria, and indeed very unique.
What makes Okomu National Park unique is not far away from its nature and character. And being a rainforest ecosystem is very unique and uncommon in Nigeria. And its rich biodiversity stands it out in Nigeria ecosystem. And then followed by the attributes, the fauna and the flora that exist in it.
Being a forested national park, one would no doubt take into account its significance to human existence.
It plays a very important role in sustaining the environment. First and foremost, is very key in carbon sequestration. And it's also very important in soil maintenance and soil forming factors. And again, another importance of it is that it helps to control erosion and helps in the purification of air that we breathe. The air that you breathe here in a common environment is different from the air that you breathe, for instance, in Benin City or in Lagos. So it's more healthy to be in a common environment than to be anywhere else in Nigeria because of the unique role it plays in balancing the elementals in eco-forest region.
With the national park within Edo State, we are sure of the reserve, we are sure of the trees, and that is also contributing in accumulating the carbon dioxide that the people are, giving out, and thereby helping us in the area of decarbonization and helping us in the area of climate change, a fight against climate change. And then we have a protected reserve of trees that are giving us that tourist attraction and giving us animal protection and also giving us an ecosystem that is eco-friendly with humans.
Okomu National Park is one of nature's gifts to the nation, situated in Edo State, Nigeria, which is of tourism significance.
There are a lot of tourist attractions in Okomu National Park. One of it, as you know, is the forest composition itself. The plants, the animals, the bacteria, the insects, the butterflies. They constitute the tourism attraction as a whole. But specifically, we have things like the tree house that is 140 feet above ground level. that when the tourists climb up and stand on top of that platform at 140 feet above ground level, you are able to have a panoramic view of the forest and see those things that you couldn't have seen when you are on the floor of the forest. And then we also have other ones like the hanging bridge across Arahua River, also in Okomu Forest, where students and visitors, domestic tourists and international tourists come and like to have experience of it every time they are in the park.
Yes, the tourist has a lot to say at Okomu National Park. The park has diverse fauna with 33 species of mammals, including African buffalo and the endangered African forest elephants, chimpanzees, dwarf crocodiles, warthogs, grass cutters, Mona monkeys, red river hogs, leopards, porcupines, pangolins, duckers, and antelopes, among many others, which are often more visible to tourists during the dry season. The white-throated monkey, which is one of the rarest monkeys in the world today, one of Africa's most threatened primates, and one of the 2 monkeys endemic to Nigeria, is found at the park as well. Butterflies and birds are abundant, making it one of the best places for birds watching in Nigeria. The park has over 700 species of colorful butterflies. About 150 species of birds were identified, including Angolan peter, gray parrot, fish eagle, hawks, woodpeckers, great owl, different varieties of hornbills, spintail, and negrofish, to list but a few. Visitors can stay at chalets built on stilts, surrounded by fig trees that are often occupied by Mona monkeys. Guides are available for forest walks, which will point out such things as termite nests and the many medicinal plants. The Okomu River, which flows across the length of the park, as well as the Akwan stream, provides visitors opportunity to engage in water sports such as fishing, boating and canoeing, and other water-related activities. Several of the plants available here have enormous medicinal value, yet another contribution of the park to human survival.
This is Camellia ivorensis, commonly known as black afara, as you can see. We have another subspecies, but this one is identified by the knee root system you can see here. It doesn't have buttress, but the other one has buttress. The phytochemical contents of this particular tree can help to solve malaria problem. The status of this plant you are seeing is abundance. It can be found in all the compartments of Okomu National Park. The girth of this tree you are seeing here is approximately 3 meters, and the height is approximately 50 meters. It has been here for over 80 years. So you can't find them around except here in Okomu National Park, because the rangers have been able to protect the park effectively, and that is why you see them. This is Bacteria fistulosa. It's here in Okomu National Park. It's ornamental plant, you see. And one thing striking about this plant, it doesn't allow climbers to come close. No climber will dare it. To twine this tree is not easy. The ant will provide security for this particular plant. I think you understand. So if you want to harass them, you just hit any of the branches. You see the ants coming out. They do another thing. As you can see, the face of these leaves now is very, very bright. They can only manufacture food very well when their leaves are very open, so that light can come. They do their photosynthesis and whatever. So these ants do another thing. They try as much as possible to clean up the leaves of this plant so that the plants can breathe well. That's the relationship. The local people believe that this plant can ward off witchcraft. And the leaves, the local people also believe that the leaves could be used to drive evil spirits. So it's abundant here in Okomu National Park.
For this national park, that is of varying importance, it's just natural that it is cherished, accorded the desired importance, and of course, protected. While park rangers are saddled with the responsibility of providing the needed protection for the national park, the National Park Service does not do it alone.
The relationship between Okomu National Park Management and the supportive communities, they're very cordial, as the relationship with the communities is significant to the protection of Okomu National Park, as it were, because these are the people who surround the forest, and you have to interact with them maximally to enable a good cooperation and sustainability of the park resources. So we used to have regular interaction and meetings with the communities and the communities' heads and opinion leaders within the different communities. We have the Benin-speaking communities, Robo-speaking communities, the Ijaw-speaking communities. We interact with all of them equally with a view to protect the national park.
Because of the importance of this national park, our ministry have been collaborating with the people, especially in the area of security. I must emphasize here that one of the major things that has affected forests, not just the national park, in many forest reserves. Today you have some numbers of forest reserves, but when you go to those places, you will not see a single tree. The threat has been because of people who go in there to lodge illegally, illegal lodgers, and because we noticed this, we have collaborated with National Park in the area of providing protection of this forest. We have our forest rangers and our patrol team, even up to the marine police in the rivers that surround this national park, because on the west and the east of this national park we have rivers. So we have allowed our security personnel to always provide a patrol system where they protect the forest against illegal lodgers, against farmers that are encroaching. Like I mentioned earlier, we make sure that we don't allow farmers to encroach on this reserve area. Illegal lodgers are not allowed. So we did not relent. We have increased that partnership. Presently, we are working with a foundation known as Annie Foundation. Annie Foundation is coming to partner with us and as well as the National Park to collaborate and bring the community, because we believe the community engagement is very important. And we are going to train forest guards that will be employed within the community, able-bodied men that are qualified. That's the criteria. And we're going to give them training, because we believe that if we have the people on ground to protect the forest, then it will be well protected. The best way to hold a thief is to give them something to hold on your behalf. Say, okay, you know what? I have this money, please keep it for me. We believe that a thief will not steal from himself. That's the method we want to employ by partnering with Anna and Annie Foundation and with the National Park. And that is all the modalities and the MOUs and all other things are in place now, and we are working on them. And once that is closed, we are increasing that our partnership and collaboration to make sure we protect the forest and protect both the animals, both the trees and everything within that place.
Collaboration plays a key role in the sustenance of the Okomu National Park, a resource of great importance. The park's management understands this, hence giving it a priority.
With a national park so close to Okomu Oil Palm Company, being our neighbour, for me it's a natural thing to do, is to work together with the park. Also remember though that even though we're a company, we are a farm, and you know the animals have no boundaries, to be honest. So we do see a number of buffalo and animals similar to that who wander across to our side every now and then. We also have buffer zones where we do not plant any of the crops, which we leave naturally, but which also correspond and link with the national park. So that's very important for us as well. So there is a corridor which allows animals to have substantially free movement between the two of us. So we feel that because we are also part of the natural surroundings, that it is of essence that we work together, because what affects us affects the national park and vice versa. So it's very important that we have the synergy together and we make sure that the park remains pristine for generations yet unborn.
We have a very good relationship with the national park, that the community and the national park. Even when he invited me to the Fallen Heroes Day, I think, though I was not able to meet up, but I sent my chiefs to go that place to represent me very well, because I know that place, we are all the same. So we do go to do everything together.
The need for continuous enlightenment of the public on the importance of protection and sustenance of the national park cannot be overemphasized. Therefore, the Okomu National Park does not relent.
The participation of local communities in park management is key to sustainability of the national park resources. Because of that, we interact with the communities via our conservation education outreach program, and that is a key unit, subunit in ecology and resource management unit. They go out, identify target groups like women group, the farmers, the fishermen, and the students. And among the schools, secondary schools and primary schools, they have been able to establish conservation clubs where they are able to disseminate conservation education and ideas to the peoples as we catch them young, and the communities too. We've also been able to work in collaboration with BioPharma and etc. to carry out training programs for the communities in terms of how to build up goat keeping, poultry, snail farming, and etc., to build their capacity in these various skills.
Although one cannot boast of absence of deviance in totality, the message of the Okomu National Park on the need for the sustenance of the park is penetrating. As a matter of fact, members of the support zone community hold the park in high esteem.
Establishment of this national park in Udo community, we found that there is a very big development in our community here. So we so much love it and we value the national park. We want it to be with us here, and even to upgrade it more than like this. So we so much value the national park. It has showed us so many things that we supposed not to see this time, especially the children of nowadays. Sometimes you go to the park, you see so many things in that park. You see some trees, some ropes, some leaves, some animals, birds, even butterflies that you have not been seen outside here. They are all there. So we, the community, I know we, the community, not only the yourself, but we, the community, we value that national park.
Indeed, the Okomu National Park ought to be cherished by all. This is a nature's gift to Nigeria, situated in Edo State, south-south Nigeria. To heighten the level of positive relationship between Okomu National Park and its surrounding communities, the park's management takes seriously its corporate social responsibilities as a way of giving back to the communities that host it.
We, as a service, in particular, number one is to employ junior staff from amongst the catchment communities. And then we've also been able, in time past, to respond to their requests in terms of generator for schools, benches, and distribution of notebooks to secondary schools and primary schools within the vicinity. And we are doing a lot more. Right now, some NGOs are carrying out, and including the park, carrying out a socio-economic survey to assess the needs of this community so that we can respond adequately and get them to cooperate and support the protection of Okomu National Park.
This forested national park, without any doubt, provides the desired action against climate change. Hence, destroying it is not only an offense against the state, but also an offense against humanity. It is purely a natural laboratory for research which widens our horizon in knowledge. This natural asset, which has been kept for years and satisfies both our health and tourism desires, is surely a blessing. A visit to this fascinating forest environment will trigger the urge for more visits to this Nigerian National Park, a true home for nature lovers.
Are you a tech enthusiast? Perhaps you want to know more about the devices and gadgets you use. Tech Mode will bridge that gap. Connects great minds while explaining everything about technology as it concerns you.
It is Tech Mode.
Tech Mode is unlocking your tomorrow today.
Your son-in-law is a criminal, and my job is to take such off the street of Nigeria.
Nigeria's movie industry is becoming a force to reckon with, growing its fan base from 20 million in 2003 to over 100 million.
Africa has stories, Nigeria has stories, because you always hear, but the filmmaker makes you see and feel. It's better for you to tell a Nigerian story today and let the world see it than trying to do a film like an American film.
The creativity in the storytelling is attributed to how Nigerians embrace diverse stories. In an accessible way, they utilize English, Pidgin, and other Nigerian dialects.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Okay. My name is Telly Ombajo. Arias Redis Milo. I sit down there, I see you, you fine, oh. So I come, we'll do friendship. So,
You see us. Don't you recognize your class when you see one?
The storylines have shown that we are possibly in need of each other.
The creative industry in Nigeria is acknowledged and recognized throughout Africa. In spite of this, some say the movie-making industry in particular is not providing enough opportunities for highly specialized talents and skill sets.
This medium is very technical. Now you have a good story, you have good actors. How are they captured? You use light and camera position to create mood. You know, the image speaks louder than words. If I want to portray that somebody is depressed or is not happy, he doesn't need to tell me in his language that he's not happy. If he's saying he's not happy in his language, I need somebody who understands his language to tell me what he's going through. But especially by camera position, by lighting mode and environment production design, I can tell that this person is depressed or is not happy. If I pick that image, I go to take it to anywhere in the world, they will know that this person is not happy.
The question now is, can the Nigerian movie industry compare favorably internationally? Perhaps with more originality, more reality, better scripting, and more training locally and internationally. The Nigerian movie industry can move higher still.
Who's we?
Gabriel, us.
What are you looking for?
I'm trying to find my measurement book.
Come here. Can we be friends? Just
Cholera is a serious bacterial infection. People become sick when they eat food or drink water contaminated by the bacteria Vibrio cholerae. The symptoms are severe diarrhea, dehydration, and even death if it is not properly treated. Here is how you can keep yourself and your family safe from cholera. Drink only clean, safe water at all times. Maintain excellent hand hygiene by using water and soap to wash your hands at all times, especially before you eat or after you go to the toilet. And if you don't have access to clean water when you need it, you can use alcohol-based sanitizers. Avoid eating from...
Nigeria could be leading the hub for 7.7 trillion naira global halal market, says Vice President Shatima. CBN to reintroduce cybersecurity levy on electronic transactions. AFDB backs Tinubu's economic reforms, seeks to improve food security. Naira appreciates massively against dollar. Oil prices fall as U.S. rate cut fails to boost market sentiment. An Asia-Pacific market mix as investors digest outsized federal rate cuts. Japan's Nikkei jumps over 2%. The program is Business Experts, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I was Abubakar, your guide. sincerely apologize for that technical hitch. Let's begin by telling you that Vice President Kashim Shettima has tipped Nigeria to become the #1 hub of opportunities for halal economy. The Vice President said that the nation's economic and demographic size puts it in an advantageous position to map out a vibrant investment sector for the global halal economy, projected to reach a market value of 7.7 trillion naira by 2025. Shettima stated this during the Halal Economy Stakeholders Engagement Program held at the banquet hall of a presidential villa in Abuja.
Prioritize officers and their states are witnesses. Today's engagement provides a platform for us to collaborate with key international organizations. This will allow us to develop a comprehensive halal ecosystem and agree on strategies that will position Nigeria as a top halal exporter, targeting high value market.
Agriculture and food industry is a major component of this growth, driven by the high demand for halal certified food products amongst Nigeria's large Muslim population. Solving problems, we need to diversify, leave our comfort zone, look at other opportunities that we can rely on and address our challenges.
The African Development Bank has commended President Bola Tinubu's economic reforms, emphasizing their importance in tackling Nigeria's present economic challenges. Also, the Minister of Finance and Coordinator Minister of the Economy, Wale Duna, has discussed strategies with the AFDB on how to improve food security in the country in view of the next harvest season. They both spoke during a meeting with a high-level delegation from the African Development Bank led by the Director General for Nigeria, Abdul Kamara. The meeting, which was held on Wednesday in Abuja, explored a range of potential areas for collaboration between the ministry and the AFDB. And now let's take a trip to the commodities markets. Says Senate is ready to process the 2025 budget as it expects the document from the executive next month. In an exclusive interview, the National Assembly correspondent Amir Ali, or rather the Senate President, Senator Barrow says legislators have intensified oversight of the 2024 budget to ensure MDAs comply with the provisions. He urges
we are ready to begin the processing of the 2025 appropriation bill because we know that by tradition the budget will probably be presented in the month of October or thereabout. As you speak, senators are moving around doing their oversight functions, trying to look at the performance of the 2024 budget.
bank announcing its monetary policy document recently introduced or put forward there to the public. According to the document, the levy has been reduced by or from the 0.5% earlier announced in May 2024 to 0.005%.
Have 5,000 people after these queues, after this training, that will be outside there for job creation, and we also employ other people to also create work themselves. This partnership benefits even those that are no more youth, specifically our staffs in ministry here, also stand a chance to benefit a training and capacity building in data protection.
The economy cannot grow without job creation. You cannot create jobs without empowering your people. And when you digital economy sector is very special. A lot of people will say, oh, when you deploy digital technologies, people will lose jobs. And some people are losing jobs because they are not ready to move the trend of things globally. A lot of new jobs, a lot of new opportunities will be coming up.
We sincerely apologize for the mix-up of, well, now to speak on how to build sustainable business in Nigeria is a financial expert, Kolawole Kainde. Thank you for coming on the program.
Hello, Adams. It's
actually Musa.
Musa, how are you today? It's a pleasure to be here once again. Good morning, Nigerians, and I wish everyone a wonderful time watching Business Express.
Okay, let's just delve into the subject matter. Well, you've observed the situation the country is going to, most especially when you look at inflation and other challenges, economic challenges. But I believe the government is actually working to address some of these challenges. But what does it take to really start a sustainable, or what will it take for someone when he's starting a business to actually also think of how to make it sustainable in the short and long run?
Thank you, Musa. I can see that there are two issues that I will look at. We look at the context and also the perspective. You started with the context. What is the current challenges that we face today? You mentioned it. Number one is inflation. And of course, why do we have inflation? The reason why we have inflation is because the value of the naira has really dropped. That means it has impacted the purchasing power of the people. The other thing is that there is rising energy costs. And that means that the cost of doing business has also increased, thereby transferring all costs to the final consumer. You know, I'm sure if I ask you how long it took you to get to office today, probably you had to go to the filling station to buy fuel. But hey, guess what? Today, as I was driving, the number of cars you even find in the filling stations are thinning out every day. That was the perspective. The perspective is, do you see your glass half empty or half full? I like to see my glass half full. So you're talking about sustainability. Let's decompartmentalize it. Sustain something that is able. Do you have the ability to sustain the project or the enterprise you want to do? I think what we need to look at is our business model, looking at the realities that we find: rising energy costs and huge level of unemployment, and ability to have access to forex, which has increased the cost of importation. If you run a business that is import dependent, that means that you're going to spend so much money doing that. Now, in terms of sustainability, how do you find alternatives in the local market, in the local economy, to drive all this conversation? So I think we'll start from there. And what are the ways that you need to do this? You need to look at your value proposition again. The reality of today is that the purchasing power of people has dropped, but you find out that businesses that are in the essential service provision space are making more money than people that...
How do they navigate through these hard times?
You know, looking at the population of the country, you find out that people between the ages of probably 12 to 35 form about 65% or so of the economy. So any need that has to do with anything that has to do with their needs sell. So that's why you see today people are feeding in spite of the rising cost of food. People are clothing. You know, you need to you need to pay for rent and do all of those things. So if you work within that value chain, you can probably run a sustainable businesses. But in areas whereby you have to deal with manufacturing or compete with businesses that are bringing up finished goods from out of the country, then you have to look at your pricing. We always know that in business, price war is the last thing you want to fight. And that takes us to even the current issue happening in the oil market space. You find the oil marketers and the Dangote refinery haggling for who to create the market, who to be a market leader and a market follower. So there's so many issues to look at.
Okay, as much as one wants to establish a sustainable business, we've seen over time that businesses fail in the country. Could you just give us a picture as to why we tend to have failure in most businesses?
Mm-hmm. There are 1001 reasons why businesses fail. And one of the reasons why businesses fail in Nigeria is because of the rising cost of doing business. And it's a bundled thing. You talk about the rising cost of regulatory compliance. So many compliance certificates have become too pricey. So that means if you don't even have those regulatory requirements, you can't even venture into that business. So let's assume that you've started the business and you have to ensure that you do your regulatory, you comply. If you can't get that done, then of course that business will fail. Another thing is weak corporate governance. Access to credit is also another one, and most importantly, poor business practices, most especially in waste, and that's one of the major reasons why businesses fail in Nigeria.
Okay, how crucial is it to recognize how different economic cycles influence decisions when you talk about sales, when you talk about investment, profit margin, credit, inventory, and so on?
Well, you know, when you talk about what are the components or areas that you look at when you talk about probably intervening in a business, you want to look at the management, you want to look at the operations, you want to look at human resource, you also want to look at sales and marketing that you really mentioned, and most importantly, you want to look at finance. Access to finance still remains #1 challenge for businesses today. As that today, the cost of capital is carrying a lot of businesses, and it's reducing access to credit. So, if your cost of capital is high, it erodes your profits. And no matter how much you try, you can't outprice yourself out of the market. You still have to operate based on the purchasing power of the people. That means the target market that needs your goods or services.
But at this point in time, when you look at, just as we talked about the economic challenges and things like that, just you mentioned cost of doing business, which particular sector do you think is most attractive if maybe one wants to really start business? I mean, you should just maybe key into that particular sector and see how you could take advantage of things.
Okay, there are two major things. If you look at the last report on our GDP growth, like 3.9% growth, which was, of course, likely inflationary growth, induced growth, you find out that the service sector was a major player. And, of course, the reason why the service sector is growing is because the cost of entry for some of these businesses is much more limited. And because the service sector leverages on technology a lot. we find out that it's so easy to do. And in the service industry, there are also shared services. You talk about shared technology. You talk about also the ability for renewable practices, such as access to probably alternative energy like solar. You have access to the creative industry. You know, today the creative industry is a major driver of employment for youths, and also a major driver of income for youths. Today, Nigerians are being paid United States dollars from Nigeria just for the services that they render, whether it's a knowledge-driven service, and probably it's a product-driven service, or an utility-driven service. So the service sector is key. Another thing that the government has worked on is the agricultural sector. Of course, we know that insecurity still continues to be a major challenge for our stunted agricultural revolution. But we feel that the federal government is responding to that. Of course, I'm sure over the course of the week, we've had issues of bandits being neutralized and all that. That builds confidence and gives people the opportunity to go back to the farm and, and start the enterprise. Rural unbound migration has also caused the departure of people going from agric to other services. You find people involved in tricycles and a motorbike, the Okadas and the Keke Napeps. These are the people that were initially in the farm because, one, they've made farming not unattractive and scary. You can't see reports of people dying in the farms, and people will go to the farm. There has to be a trust, and there has to be continuous updates on the activities of government in curbing insecurity. And the government is quite doing a whole lot in that space.
Where is the place of technology in this whole thing? Because actually we talked about how the cost of doing business and other economic factors. How does technology help to reduce most of these things? I mean, in terms of cost, in terms of finance or something. You have a little money. How can you key into technology? Is there any hope that the new technologies that we have seen being developed in recent times will actually help somehow reduce the cost of doing business?
Yes, technology is quite important and very necessary, and I'll give you just a basic a basic example. One of the basic example is the mobile phone. The mobile phone has been able to amass or aggregate so many capabilities that today you could shoot a video production right from the comfort of your room. That will have cost you a fortune before, and the youths have leveraged extensively on that. Yeah, the cost of technology in the short term might be very expensive, but on the long term, it's really much more sustainable. So technology is good, and in terms of even like the Bank of Industry, they use technology for credit creation, even monitoring and administration. And I stumbled on a video recording yesterday. There was a 3-year-old boy that got lost in a cornfield of about 120 kilometers, and they were looking for him. Guess how they found the boy? There was a thermal drone that was used to do a heat map to ensure that they could locate the boy. And of course, they found the boy, and it was safe when he found it. So and we have capacity for and capabilities for that. I think Nigerian youths and even the government should start to support technological innovation and ensure that we come up with this kind of technologies that can improve the economy and also improve and secure lives and property.
I'm sure you've been following the federal government's reforms and, other initiatives to somehow address some of these challenges. But the thing here is, where do you think they should strengthen, focus so that they can eliminate those challenges that most businesses face today in Nigeria?
Okay, I think one of the major challenges that the government will need to deal with today is the challenge of misinformation and disinformation, and that has really created a distrust between the government and the governed. So when there is a continuous communication, transparency and openness of the government, it builds trust. And when the government tries to achieve and adhere to the social contract, it builds people's will to come out and do business. The impact of the social contract enablement and achievement is critical to the growth and the development of our space. No matter the intervention and the reforms that the government have done, reforms in agriculture. Today, there is a committee on addressing the tax issues that have been bedeviling us. And you find it even today we have a refinery in Nigeria so that they could reduce the cost of access to FX and reduce the pressure on Naira. So these are reforms, but they're taking a whole lot to materialize. Today, someone was mentioning that the rates of the inflation rates dropped from about 35 to 32%, but the cost of goods are still going. I said, if you understand what it means by inflationary, that means instead of it to grow at 30, continue to grow at 35%. It's now growing at 32%. It's not as if the cost of goods are not growing, but they are not growing at the higher rate that they were going. By the time things will normalize, but it takes a whole lot of time. I would want to let Nigerians know that no matter what happens, we're always going to go overcome it because we are a resilient nation.
Okay, beautiful. Kolawole Kainde, financial expert. It's been a pleasure sharing your thought with us.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
You too. And now let's head to the currency market where let's see how the Naira is exchanging for the currencies. Well, as I thanks for watching Business Express. We hope to see you. Let's do this thing. Let's do it again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Timeless wisdom of Nigerian proverbs.
Proverbs are palm oil with which words are written. Kola nuts last long in the mouths of those that value it. He who thinks is leading when no one follows is just taking the walk. No matter how hot your anger, it cannot cook here.
Nigerian proverbs. Timeless lessons from our ancestors.
Film is used to popularize government policies and ideologies among the masses. Owing to its ability to hold and capture audience, films are used more than any other means of mass communication to promote ideas of positive social transformation, as well as to consolidate and build new relationships.
So many governments want to start selling their policies through entertainment. If it's a policy for 3 years, they'll start putting it on the screen. Then at the point, by the time it comes out, every other person feel that it's usual. It's like that. Before Obama became president, if you watch 24, there's a film 24. They start selling a black president into the minds of people, into the consciousness of people. And it worked. So If the government wants things to sell, because there's no way you can give me money and I'll tell a bad story about you, let them start investing. It's still on record that if you go around the world, the second largest is in the amount of movies being produced. So India is the first. Nollywood is the second, before Hollywood and others. It's on the number of movies being produced yearly. And I told you, I say India is achieving their own feat because they have government support. We don't, and we are still coming second in the number of films we produce.
Nollywood films have gained widespread prominence, especially within the African continent. Even today in Nigeria, we have variations in the Nollywood industry.
There are associations, then there are these woods. The other woods that are coming are still nomenclatures. Everybody is trying to say, oh, we have something that is, showing. But the general name, whether you're Kannywood, whether you're Idoma Wood, whether you're Igbo Wood, all of them still have associations that propel all those things.
Takes it, tucks it, buries it.
From the football prowess of Kano Umakwo to the track dominance of Blessing Okadari.
Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We're live in Abuja. I'm Comfort Amadu. Let's bring you the headlines. Federal government launches comprehensive strategy tagged Exploit the $7 trillion global halal market. 2025 budget, Senate pledges scrutiny of processes. And in sight to persistent grid collapses, federal government deploys new technology for stabilization. We'll begin with federal government's new project, a comprehensive strategy tagged Exploit the $7 trillion global halal market, aiming at positioning the country as a leading player in the halal economy. Vice President Kashim Shettima at an event in Abuja said the project is part of the initiative to diversify the economy with a view to capitalizing on Nigerian's position as the 8th largest domestic halal economy in the world. That's commendable. Let's get more on this from State House correspondent Abdul Rahman Jibrila.
Nigeria's economic and demographic size gives us a unique advantage in developing a vibrant halal investment sector.
Build a vibrant halal economy. Unlocking Nigeria's potential is the theme of this stakeholders' engagement to build a collaborative framework that will create opportunities for economic diversification, job creation and export expansion.
For Nigeria to become a hub of opportunities in the global halal economy, we must prioritize our strengths and reassess our weaknesses. Today's engagement provides a platform for us to collaborate with key international organizations. This will allow us to develop a comprehensive halal ecosystem and agree on strategies that will position Nigeria as a top halal exporter, targeting high value market.
Through partnership with key stakeholders, both domestic and international, we are determined to position Nigeria as a leader in the halal economy.
The halal sector can also play a crucial role in resolving the farmer hunger crisis by promoting ethical farming practices and ensuring that we use advanced technologies to improve agricultural yields.
Exploring investment opportunities, promoting technology adoption and expansion of regional trade, taking advantage of These stakeholders say will ensure Nigeria's competitiveness in regional and global markets.
The agriculture and food industry is a major component of this growth, driven by the high demand for halal certified food products amongst Nigeria's large Muslim population.
Solving problems, we need to diversify, leave our comfort zone, look at other opportunities that we can rely on and address our challenges.
By increasing halal exports and focusing on strategic import substitution, Nigeria is projected to have an addition of nearly $1.2 billion to the country's GDP by 2027. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has urged ministries, departments and agencies of government to actualize the agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu across different sectors by working together. And the advice was given after a National Council on Privatization meeting chaired by the Vice President and recommendations ratified at the 2021 and 2022 audit financial reports of the Bureau of Public Enterprises. Council also approved the progress made so far by the BPE in the implementation of its 2024 work plan aimed at strengthening its operations, and the Council directed the BPE to further engage with the relevant parties in the resolution of the dispute in the sale of the Sapele to Ugorode Generation Company Limited and the sale of coal blocks belonging to the Nigerian Coal Corporation. He particularly commended the agency for its close supervision and conclusion of the Zungeru hydroelectric power plant concession, as well as efforts to establish an independent system operator. And presenting a progress report on the 2024 work plan of the BPE, the Director General, Ayodeji Bele, reported that the Bureau generated the sum of 93.47 billion naira in the first and second quarters of the year 2024 from 3 transactions, and representing 35.9% of the expected revenues. That's during the period under review. Well, there's end in sight to persistent and recurring cases of grid collapse, which often result to nationwide power outage, as federal government is deploying a new technology that's a supervisory control and data acquisition system to stabilize the grid. Joshua Odiso reports that Minister of Power Adebayo Adelabu led industry players in the sector to witness the testing of this technology at the new National Control Center, Gwagwalada, Abuja.
Nigeria over the years witnessed increased cases of grid disturbance and collapse, which industry players attribute to absence of supervisory control and data acquisition SCADA system, among others, to provide operators with real-time data for monitoring and control of power distribution effectively. After several attempts since 1978 to provide SCADA system, federal government, with the support of World Bank in 2022, awarded contract for the design, manufacturing and installation of SCADA system, with the project nearing completion. The project also covers construction of new National Control Center in Gwagwalada and upgrade of National Control Center Oshogbo.
With the progress recorded so far, the project is set to change the landscape of system operation in the NESI by ensuring operational efficiency using state-of-the-art modern equipment to monitor and control the grid. Global visibility of the transmission network, thereby empowering the operator with the tools to make informed decisions, resulting in improved grid management.
With features such as automated data collection, fault detection, and remote control operations, we are laying the groundwork for a more resilient and responsive power sector.
Expected to be delivered in 2025, the SCADA system project is at 90% completion, and the facility inspection is to test run the system ahead of its inauguration. When completed, the SCADA system will enhance grid stability and minimize grid collapse. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority has reiterated its commitment to promoting initiatives that align with the federal government's quest of reshaping the economy and granting audience to representatives of Energy Commission of Nigeria. The largest television network in Africa says a well-coordinated power sector is crucial for development.
Outrageous bills and epileptic power supply have remained contentious for some time. Now, the Energy Commission of Nigeria and the United Nations Environment Programme have come up with a remedy. They are craving for the use of energy-efficient equipment to reduce electricity consumption for more people to access power with focus on cooling system.
The purpose of our visit today is to seek collaboration on how we can sensitize the public. What the program does is how to educate the public on using energy efficient.
The issue of energy efficiency is actually more on behavioral change. So we also have to do a lot of awareness.
Knowing the importance of energy, the Nigerian Television Authority consequently pledged to collaborate with the Energy Commission of Nigeria in actualizing this goal.
NTA is the largest media organization in Africa. Okay, so that is why you are in the right place. You are in the right place. So I will advise that when you are through here, you meet with the news department, the news directorate, the programs directorate, and of course the marketing directorate of the organization of NTA, so that they take you through what you need to do.
This is the second project initiated by the Commission, having previously done the same thing on lighting. Kunle Adeyeye, NTA News.
Away from power, today's International Snake Bite Awareness Day, and according to the World Health Organization, millions are bitten by snakes every year, with fatalities recorded to the tune of tens of thousands. And poor treatment, access to anti-snake venoms have been identified as causes. Now let's join via Zoom from Kano, Abdul Razak Habib. He's a professor of infectious and tropical diseases and immediate past president, International Society on Toxinology, Africa and Middle East Section, Bayero University, Kano. All right, good morning, Professor, and welcome to the news at 10.
Thank you very much for having me. Good morning.
Let's kick off this conversation by asking you how accessible anti-snake venoms are in Nigeria.
Yeah, unfortunately, this year has been an especially very bad year for access to antivenom. In the past, we've had antivenoms fairly steadily, but this year the crisis in scarcity has reached a very severe proportion. Until recently, we've had in all the treatment sites spread across the country, about 23 of them. None of them had antivenom supplied, and by way of purchasing antivenom, something that cost about 40,000, 50,000 vial, it shot up to reach 250,000 per vial. And a patient traditionally or usually will require at least 2 to 3 vials, that is 500,000. In one particular facility, the severity reached a crescendo to the extent that healthcare workers were rinsing empty vials that they'd used over the past few years to see if they could get some residual antivenom to use in care. But fortunately, I learned the Honorable Coordinating Minister for Health has just awarded a contract to procure a large doses of antivenom. But one hopes in the future we should have ready plans and preparations, given this is a seasonal thing. Every year during rainy season we go through the same thing, and this year in particular, given the flooding, snake bite has been particularly severe throughout the country. Northern Nigeria, in the valleys of River Benue, River Niger, in southern Nigeria, if you go to Kwara, Osun State, Oyo State, If you go to Enugu, Udi Hills area, it's a common problem. We do have the treatment facilities, 23 of them across the country, but the lack of antivenom.
In terms of research and production, are we moving forward as a country?
As a country, we are moving forward, albeit very slowly. We should be producing local antivenoms long ago, over 10 years ago. One of the former ministers, Professor Olikwe Ransom Kuti, invested large sums of money, and antivenoms were developed against Nigerian snakes in particular. And these antivenoms have been tried and tested and found to be very effective, very safe. But what remains is to produce them locally. Of course, there are challenges to local production, but I believe a country such as Nigeria, given the large burden of snakebite, which is the highest within sub-Saharan Africa, should be able to produce antivenoms locally, and perhaps even for the West African sub-region by now.
Okay, so let me ask you this very pertinent question. Some people believe that snake bites can be treated traditionally. Are you on the same page with this belief?
Truly, it's very unwise and imprudent to attempt to manage snake bite from a poisonous snake locally, at home or traditionally. If one were certain that the snake is a harmless snake or is not a poisonous snake, potentially you may treat it at home, you may treat just the injury, the scratch mark that it causes. But if it's a poisonous snake, such as the ones we have in Nigeria we have at least this so-called big four. We have the cobras, the carpet vipers, the puff adders, and perhaps also the mambas, which traditionally in Yoruba you hear things like paramole, in Igbo you hear eteka, meaning tomorrow is far, in Hausa you hear gobedenisa. All of these are snakes that one shouldn't attempt to manage locally with a traditional herbalist. Death and fatality rises to as high as 20 to 40%. That is to say, 4 out of 10 people bitten eventually will die. In fact, the Igbo name of eteka and the Hausa name of gobedenisa mean the same. That tomorrow is far if you are bitten by this particular snake that inhabits most of northern Nigeria, southeastern Nigeria, and southwestern Nigeria. So to attempt to think that one would manage it at home, I think it's a huge mistake. It shouldn't be encouraged. And given the fact that we do not know a harmless snake from a poisonous snake, one would argue that all snake bites should be managed within an orthodox facility. We have a saying that snake bite is a bona fide medical emergency, and all victims of snake bite should be admitted for at least 24 hours within a facility until the picture is very clear that it's a harmless snake or one is not envenomed by the snake.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Abdul Razak Habib, for that great insight there. We're looking forward to Nigeria upscaling its research and production of this snake, anti-snake venom. All right, you're still watching the news live on NTA News 24. We'll take a break now. More stories ahead. Deputy President of the Senate, Barrow Jibrin, says Senate is ready to process the 2025 budget as it expects the document from the executive next month. In an exclusive interview with National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali, Senator Barrow says legislators have identified oversight of the 2024 budget to ensure MDAs comply with provisions.
To begin the processing of the 2025 appropriation bill, because we know that by tradition the budget will probably be presented in the month of October or thereabout. As we speak, senators are moving around doing their oversight functions, trying to look at the performance of the 2024 budget.
To improve the economy. Meanwhile, the Speaker of ECOWAS Parliament said during a visit to the President of the
have continued to raise concern over alleged neglect of the interests of organized workers in the agreement. This workshop is one among many others to keep African trade union leaders abreast with the agreement and the need to engage governments in their countries to ensure interests of workers are not just captured. The workers play a key part in decision-making in the implementation.
And now that the 5-year period after which it can be reviewed has now come to pass, that the agreement in all the areas, all the subject areas that there's an agreement on, there should be a protocol on labor rights. But how do you ensure that their human and labor rights are protected? How do you ensure that their safety at work is guaranteed? How do you ensure that the goods and services at the end you will be trading in are not product of forced labor? They are not product of child labor. The companies that will be involved in this agreement are those ones that allow for freedom of association, are those ones that allow for collective.
Focus of discourse are progress made so far and experiences and strategies towards inclusion in the implementation strategies in different countries. In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
Nigerian's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has announced a 500 million naira donation to the government and people of Borno State over the recent flood disaster. This was made known when the wife of the Vice President, Nana Kashim, led other prominent women to Maiduguri to commiserate with the government and people of Borno State over the incident. Mohamed Gwani reports.
Wife of the Vice President, Nana Shetima, led other members of the Renewed Hope Initiative high-level delegation, notably wife of the Speaker, House of Representatives, Ms. Fatima Tajuddin Abbas, that of the Deputy Senate President, Hajia Leila Barrow, wives of the Ministers of Agriculture and Food Security, Hajia Belkisu Abubakar Kyari, and that of Works, Rachel Umahi, among others, to convey the sympathy of the First Lady to the government and people of Borno over the disaster. Nigeria's First Lady was represented by Nana Kashim Shetima.
Her Excellency Senator Oluremi Tinubu, CON, she kindly asked me to extend her sympathy and prayers to you and to good people of Borno State.
The representative of the national chairman of the Renewed Hope Initiative assured Governor Zulum of the First Lady's support and prayers. Governor Zulum appreciated the delegation over the visit.
This is a very humongous contribution, and we want to assure you that government of Borno State under my distinguished leadership will ensure effective and judicious utilization of this quantum of money that is being given to us.
They were also at the show of Borno's Palace, Abubakar Ibn Umar Garba El Kanemi, where he appreciated them for the show of concern. In Maiduguri, Mohamed Goni, NTA News.
And in a show of solidarity with the government and people of Borno State, leaders of Southern Borno were at the government house Maiduguri, where they donated 200 million naira to support government and to enable them tackle the distribution to social and economic life brought by the recent flood. Mohamed Gwani reports that the Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadufur led the delegation among other prominent people of the region.
The visitors from southern Borno are the latest among the teeming visitors that have been trooping to commiserate with the government and people of the state over the recent flood disaster, considered the worst in living memory.
So we came in under the umbrella of southern Borno to commiserate with the Borno state government, people of Borno in general, about what happened. And we believe such visit can unite a lot of people in this state.
Instead of us doing it haphazardly, under his leadership and with all the stakeholders, we facilitated a process where we contributed money. Even now, contributions are still coming in.
Governor Zulum, who was full of praises on the visit by the higher power delegation, was emphatic that it will encourage him and his cabinet at this trying time to navigate the turbulent period.
The peace that we are getting in Borno State, apart from this incentive, is because of our unity in diversity. Let us maintain this status quo. And while peaceable, let us increase our collaboration. Let us increase our unity.
The delegation was also at the Shehu of Borno's palace, where they commiserated with him, having been affected grossly by the flood, and announced a 10 million naira donation to him to cushion the negative effect of the incident. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
And stakeholders under the watchful eyes of security agencies are sorting the sensitive materials delivered by the Nigerian Air Force this Wednesday. The materials were inspected this morning before the sorting for distribution to the 18 local government areas of Edo State. Correspondent Jide Abugu reports that the process is going on smoothly without any rancor. And the national leadership of the People's Democratic Party has directed all its members and supporters in Edo State to get ready for the September 21 governorship election. National Publicity Secretary of the party, on behalf of the leadership, gave the directive at a media briefing in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
On Saturday, the Edo people. This media briefing at the national headquarters of the PDP in Abuja is part of last-minute preparations ahead of the September 21 governorship election in Edo State. The PDP leadership has directed its members and supporters to go to their respective polling units to cast their votes and protect them.
Police should be aware of that. INEC should be aware of that. That the people are saying, we don't want trouble, we want peace.
The party, however, enjoined its members and supporters to also remain calm, law-abiding and vote peacefully. The tide of the election, the PDP emphasized, is to the effect that the party is coasting to victory and the people of Edo State are not ready to accept any result that does not reflect their will as expressed at the ballot. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The national leader of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, Chief Edwin Clark, has applauded the successful rollout of premium motor spirit by private individual in the country, which began nationwide distribution on the 15th of September this month. Chief Clark described the refinery as a transformative project for Nigeria's economy, which has long been plagued by fuel shortages and a reliance on imports. The impact of this project on the nation's energy security, employment and economic development will be felt for generations to come. Acknowledging that the refinery's potential to create thousands of jobs for Nigeria youths and to bring an end to the country's fuel scarcity is obvious. And Chief Clark also lauded President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's effort in crediting his administration's support for the realization of this landmark project, urging him to maintain his support for similar initiatives in the oil and gas sector and to ensure a steady supply of the crude oil to the 650,000 barrels per day by the refinery. And with that story, we conclude the news at this time. Join us again for the news update at 11. I'm Comfort Amodu. Thanks for watching.
Wow, look at that. Until recently, I had no idea what a pangolin was. Man, this thing is strong. It's a small mammal covered with scales made of keratin, just like our nails. Strong scales, man. This value. Yet the demand for the scales and the meat is driving the pangolin, and it was rescued from illegal bushmeat trade. It's going to keep the ant population in check. Home sweet home. Please say no to illegal bushmeat and report wildlife crime, because poaching steals from us all.
This is the network service of the NTA.
We maintain 24-hour surveillance over infrastructures, sites, and projects for the federal, state, and local government, suppressing every criminal activity, civil disorder, vandalization of critical national asset and infrastructure. The NSCDC assists in maintenance of peace and order and in the protection and rescue of the civil population. We are Nigeria's Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC. We are Nigeria's Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC.
Good day, I am Babawali Afalabi, and welcome to our 30-minute news bulletin. Today, we have a packed-up lineup of important stories and updates on the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, a pivotal organization dedicated to safeguarding our communities and maintaining public safety. As the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps intensify its efforts across the nation, we'll provide you with an in-depth look at our recent initiatives, operations, and critical role we played in ensuring a secure and peaceful environment for all citizens. Stay with us as we explore the latest updates and achievements from the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, highlighting our commitment to protecting life and property in Nigeria. You're welcome back. The Commandant General of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Hamid Abubakar Howdy, has been inaugurated as the President of the Institute of Registered Administrative Managers of Nigeria. The NSCDC boss, the Institute's first president, pledged to uphold the Institute's values and build on its predecessors' legacies. He emphasized the importance of collective participation and the exchange of ideas to enhance the Institute's standard and service quality. Audi also instructed the Institute's registrar, Victor, to provide a comprehensive review on the Institute's past performance. The event was marked by congratulatory messages from Ezia Gbegbe and other prominent members of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, highlighting the Institute's focus on advancing administrative management practice.
This is a very giant feat, a very laudable achievement. And I like to state that it is my pleasure to welcome all to this momentous occasion of my investiture as the fourth president of the Institute of Registered Administrative Managers of Nigeria, a professional association established to promote the practice of administrative managers in Nigeria. It is a known fact that the promoters of this noble institute have a vision to be the most revered professional association in the matters of administrative management and the entrenchment of best administrative practice in every work environment. I wish to state, therefore, very unequivocally and with every sense of responsibility that I am in alignment with this vision, and hereby express my sincere appreciation to the members of the Institute for the confidence reposed in me to steer the ship of this great professional body. Let me also use this opportunity to recognize the enormous contribution of my predecessors. Honorable Nef Tahuli, Fellow of the Institute, late Senator Major General Abubakar Tanko Ayuba, retired Fellow of the Institute, and my intellectual mentor, Professor Distinguished Senator Silas Jonathan Zingina, Fellow of the Institute, under whose leadership the Institute made steady progress and landmark achievements. I want to assure members of my commitment towards upholding the ideals of the Institute and to build on the legacy left for us by my predecessors. I therefore solicit your support and collaboration through your active participation and contribution of ideas and insights as we make collective effort to achieve the objective of this noble institute and accomplish our shared goals. Let me further assure you that I shall work hard to explore opportunities available to uplift the standard of the Institute and also make efforts to advance the quality of service and research to enhance the knowledge and the administrative competencies in our quest for excellence for members and the general public.
I congratulate Dr. Ahmed Abubakar, Fellow Institute of Administrative Managers, member Nigerian Institute, Order of the Federal Republic, on his ascension to the highest office in this institute. Similarly, I congratulate all members, students, student members, and administrative management stakeholders for having an academic and a well-grounded administrative professional to lead the institute at the level of our development. As a kind of background information, permit me to do a brief of the Institute of Registered Administrative Managers of Nigeria. The Institute is an association of professionals who are networking knowledge, skills, and experiences for the enhancement of the art and science of administrative management practice. This is a guide and prepared by a vision of becoming the most reverend professional institute on matters of administrative management and a mission of entrenching best practice of organization and methods in every work environment.
As the election date approaches, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, is intensifying its preparations. The Corps is implementing comprehensive strategies to safeguard lives and properties through the electoral process. The operational department of the NSCDC will oversee the implementation of these security measures, supported by specialized units, including the Armed Squad, Counter-Terrorist Unit, VIP Protection Unit, and the CJ Intelligence Response Team. The NSCDC operations will be coordinated with contributions from states, commands, and the Federal Capital Territory under the guidance of the Directorate of Operations at the National Headquarters. The Corps plans to collaborate closely with other conventional security agencies to maintain a level playing field and prevent harassment, violence, and intimidation. In addition, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps will actively target political thugs and criminal elements that might disrupt the election. The Intelligence Department at both local and national levels will be deployed to identify potential flashpoints and address threats to the state. Turning to another initiative, the Agro Rangers Unit, translating to Protectors of Farmers, is dedicated to safeguarding agricultural activities against land destruction and conflicts. Over 10,000 NSCDC officers have received specialized training to ensure the security of farming operations and related investments. Additionally, Agro Rangers are equipped with skills in alternative dispute resolution to address conflicts between farmers and others effectively. Now, both the upcoming Edo gubernatorial election and the Agro Rangers initiative highlights the NSCDC's commitment to maintaining peace and security across the country.
The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, in Edo has staged a walk to sensitize the public towards peaceful conduct during the governorship election in the state. The walk, which started at the command headquarters in Blessed Avenue, passed through Country Home Road, Sapele Road and Limit Road before returning to the headquarters. Speaking shortly before the walk, Benga Agun, the NSCDC commandant, said that the walk was to encourage the electorate to embrace peace during the election. Agun said that the command was committed to providing a secure environment for voters to exercise their franchise without being molested or intimidated. It was gathered that during the walk, personnel of the Corps distributed flyers to residents of the city. The flyers contained inscriptions such as "Election no be do or die" and "Edo 2024 hashtag election free from violence," among others.
You're welcome back. Now, with the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps' specialized mandate to protect critical infrastructure and national assets, including mining sites, the Federal Ministry of Solid Minerals has established the Mining Marshal within the Corps to combat illegal mining and protect revenue streams. Led by Assistant Commandant of Corps John Onoja, this unit is tasked with safeguarding mining sites and national assets.
The Mining Marshal was officially inaugurated on the 1st of March 2024, that is this year, by the Honorable Minister of Interior in the person of Olubimi Tunji Ojo, and ably supervised by the Commander General of the Corps in the person of Dr. Ahmed Abubakar Audi. Then, looking at the challenges in the solid mineral sector, the Honorable Minister of Solid Mineral had as one of its 7-point agenda mining police. So after the inauguration of Mining Marshal on the 1st of March in the NSCDC National Headquarters, it became pertinent that NSCDC and Solid Mineral partner in the area of combating illegal mining across the nation to boost the solid mineral sector. And that gave birth to official collaboration between the Ministry of Interior through NSCDC and the Ministry of Solid Mineral. And it gave birth to an official takeover by the Ministry of Solid Mineral on the 21st of March 2024. And from that moment, the Mining Marshal came up with a lot of programs and activity to ensure that the sole mandate of combating illegal mining nationwide across the nation, 36 states and FCT, come to fruition. And I also want to add that there is no better time for the government of Nigeria to do this than now. Looking at our economy and looking at the challenges in the oil sector, we will need as a nation a way to strengthen the economy of the nation through available natural resources. And you agree with me that part of the core mandate of NSCDC is protection of critical national assets and infrastructure, where solid mineral also feature prominently. And that informed the fact that the solid mineral thought it wise to partner with NSCDC in ensuring that the renewed hope agenda of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria towards strengthening this nation's economy gets promoted through that of solid mineral. And our sole responsibility in this regard as Mining Marshal is to combat illegal mining and bring it to its barest minimum. The essence is to ensure that the resources of our dear nation in the aspect of solid mineral counts in the development of our dear nation, have recourse of what we wind as mineral, and also have statistics and data, where you also have issues of ensuring that royalties are being paid, arresting those evading payments of royalty, and similar offenses. If you've been following the program of Mining Marshal from inception, the first batch, which was on the 1st of March, had over 2,500 operatives, and that gave birth to having a minimum of 60 personnel per state. And these 60 personnel, they cut across different units, functions, and departments within the mining marshal. You have those who are specifically saddled with the duties and responsibilities of surveillance and monitoring of our mining fields, from where we get credible intelligence. And we also have other operatives across the states where the operations supervised from the central or federal operational base in Abuja here can also collaborate with those at the state level to carry out these assignments. It is important to state that mining marshal operation is centrally controlled, and whatever operation you see mining marshal carrying out in any of these states of the federation must be that which is also supervised and monitored from the headquarters operational base, which is Abuja here. And in most cases, you will agree with me, those of you in the media industry, that I do not even lead from the office. In most cases, whatever state, wherever we find ourselves, you find me there, ensuring that the takeoff stage of mining marshal will give you close monitoring to be able to meet the expectation of our dear Commandant General, who is very focused and determined to ensuring that protection of critical national assets and infrastructure is fully carried out as part of our responsibility, as well as a well-determined Minister of Solid Mineral. We have never had it in this form before. The Honorable Minister of Solid Mineral, Dr. Henry Dele Alake, is one person that is poised and passionate about Nigerian projects. And you can see in his drive and the collaboration between a solid mineral and the well-coordinated and articulated minister that we have in the Ministry of Interior, the person of Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, as well as our Commandant General. This trio is one of the reasons why mining marshal is thriving this far. So across the nation of the Federation, based on credible intelligence, we carry out our assignment, and also based on petitions and complaints from individuals, Nigerians, communities whose environments have been unnecessarily raped, as well as petitions from corporate bodies who have a legitimate title or authorization to mine in certain areas but dispossessed or displaced by illegal miners. And that has been one of the ways we operate. We coordinate all these operations from the national headquarters of NSCDC and that of the Office of the Minister of Solid Mineral. We are achieving what we are achieving today because of the kind of leadership we are having, starting from the Commander General of NSCDC down to the Honorable Minister of Interior and Honorable Minister of Solid Mineral. Then secondly, I must also commend the commitment and doggedness of our operatives, the mining marshals. Mining marshal comprised of young and energetic Nigerians serving in Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. And these persons believe in the Nigerian project. They believe in the leadership of the Corps. They believe in the leadership of the Minister of Interior. They believe in the leadership of Minister of Solid Mineral. And they believe in Nigerian projects. So this passion is what is driving us. And I will tell you that because of this, our success story is all over the nation. I will tell you that today we have a traffic of miners towards the mining cadastral office, towards the Ministry of Solid Mineral, all geared towards regularization of their mining activities.
Recall that the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps FEMA's Code was commissioned in 2012 under the federal government's Safe School initiative to enhance security in school nationwide. They conduct training on personal security, banditry, kidnapping, and other crimes to protect students in vulnerable schools. Also, the NSCDC's K9 unit, renowned for its specialized training, used highly skilled dogs to detect disturbance, assist in crowd control, locate missing persons, and investigate crime scenes. The Commandant General, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Hamid Abubakar Howdy, has inaugurated the construction of 4 one-bedroom chalets at the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies in Kuru, Jos. The project fulfills a pledge made by NSCDC to enhance accommodations for course participants, reflecting appreciation for NIP's influence on the agency. Professor Ayo Omotayo, Director General of NIPS, welcomed the initiative, noting that the new chalets would boost the Institute's infrastructure. He also appealed to Nigerians and corporate bodies for further support in infrastructure development. Additionally, Commandant General Audi addressed the 2024 Senior Executive Course 46 participants with a lecture on application of digital technology in the protection of critical national assets and infrastructure, underscoring the NSCDC's role in this domain.
And we all know that the nation is passing through really a very new conflict called asymmetric. We are seeing really the same case in Nigeria. This is about the second decade that this asymmetric conflict has engulfed this country. And it has caused a lot of debilitating and devastating effect on both citizens and critical assets and infrastructure of the nation. Attempt to create havoc or threats to this Sinai affects economic viability and social well-being of a nation. So one of the importance of this Sinai is for economic growth. Any country who does not have its critical assets and infrastructure intact, that country will have difficulty in economic growth. And it is as a result of most of these lapses. National security, they provide the foundation for defense and security operations, protecting the nation from external threats. I'd like to tell you that another cartel again is in transportation business, where we have arrested a lot of vandalized railway sleepers. The railway sleepers, can you imagine? We have arrested over 25 trailers loaded with railway sleepers. And we realized one railway sleepers, when we went for the analysis with the Nigerian Railway Corporation, one railway sleepers is 17,850 naira. Now, we have arrested more than 20 trailers with that. Calculate the amount and see what we have lost. When we calculated it last time with the corporation or the railway authorities, we got over 3.something billion as lost of revenue, lost of this. It's so devastating, so devastating, so discouraging, People will go into the sea, punctured a whole head, punctured it, put a valve, connect it underneath water, and then be siphoning fuel using the tanker. You will imagine how they even created the road. When they saw that we disturbed them so much, they now went back using cellophane bags, and they use motorbikes. Now they know that we're also in the creeks with our gunboat, working together with the Navy. They know. So because when they realize that we know the tanker issue, they switch back to what is called Cotonou boats. One Cotonou boat can load 2 trailers. They are loaded in drums. You see drums. Because so far, just within the period under my purview, we have arrested over 500 suspects, jailed, convicted over 100, destroyed over 350 illegal refineries.
in this country. Just within this span of 3 years, there is a need to prioritize investment in emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence and machine learning, and prioritize capacity building and training program for personnel in the protection of Sinai.
As an alumnus, I passed through this institution, and I know that while I was even here, organizations donated certain program or project, to the institute. And then now that I'm a product of the institute, and God has given me this position, I also feel that I should contribute my own quota.
Join us as we embark on an exploration of Nigeria's rich cultural heritage and natural wonders.
He told me that there could be fish here that could be as big as myself. Well, I'm not too small, but any fish that is as big as myself, I think that is very big indeed.
In order to make sense of the pains these women go through every day to be able to provide for their family, I asked how much of this bowl they will fetch from this river to this place to make a truck.
From the bustling streets of Lagos to the serene waters of the Niger Delta, Nigeria offers an unforgettable experience.
My name is Vicky. Years passed. All I wanted was to leave Niger. Anyhow, this very urge pushed me to Libya through the back door. And that was where my woes began. The rough trips through the deserts. My three friends died on the way. They died as if there was not enough. In Libya, I got the worst torture ever. Raped and abused daily, with no single pay, not even one. But I was lucky. I got connection back home. In summary, there is no place like home. I rather pushed truck back home than to leave this country ever again. I met a couple of good Nigerians. I started my business, which I now call Meals by Orazi. It's been growing tremendously. I'm gradually settling. So you, there, stay safe. There is no place like home.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the U-Report link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
Embark on a delectable journey of Nigeria, where flavors come to life in Niger's food adventures.
From the savory goodness of akara to the sumptuous puff-puff, Nigerian food is a gastronomy.
Hello and welcome to the news update at 11. I am your carrier, Clinton. A report from Benin says representatives of political parties, INEC and other stakeholders under the watchful eyes of security agencies are sorting the sensitive materials delivered by the Nigerian Air Force yesterday. The materials were inspected this morning before the sorting for distribution to the 18 local government areas of Edo State. Correspondent Jide Abugo reports that the process is going on smoothly without any rancor. Still on Edo State governorship election, the national leadership of the People's Democratic Party has directed all its members and supporters in Edo State to get ready for the September 21 governorship election. National Publicity Secretary of the party, Debo Ologunagba, on behalf of the leadership, gave the directive at a media briefing in Abuja.
Police should be aware of that. INEC should be aware of that. That the people are saying, we don't want trouble, we want peace.
The party, however,
the federal government has launched a comprehensive strategy tagged Exploit the $7 trillion global halal market, aiming at positioning the country as a leading player in the halal economy. Vice President Kashim Shettima, at an event in Abuja, said the project is part of initiatives to diversify the economy with a view to capitalizing on Nigeria's position as the 8th largest domestic halal economy in the world.
A comprehensive halal ecosystem and agree on strategies that will position Nigeria as a top halal exporter, targeting high value market.
Through partnership with key stakeholders, both domestic and international, we are determined to position Nigeria as a leader in the halal economy.
The halal sector can also play a crucial role in resolving the farmer hunger crisis by promoting ethical farming practices and ensuring that we use advanced technologies to improve agricultural yields.
And from the power sector, there's an end in sight to persistent and recurring cases of grid collapse, which often result in nationwide power outage, as federal government is deploying new technology, otherwise known as supervisory control and data acquisition SCADA system, to stabilize the grid. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, led industry players in the sector to witness testing of the technology at the new National Control Center in Gwagwalada, Abuja.
The project is set to change the landscape of system operation in the NESI by ensuring operational efficiency using state-of-the-art modern equipment to monitor and control the grid.
With features such as automated data collection, fault detection, and remote control operation.